Well, hello.
It went on so long, I got caught with my phone out.
Outstanding.
Professional stream.
That is professional.
Hey, listen. Everyone, welcome to the Retro 5. We are back with the legendary Dominik Diamond. Thank you, Mr. Diamond, for being with us tonight. We have a special guest, another special guest, just who wants to say hello to you. So Here we go.
Welcome to the Retro 5, Dominik Diamond!
I thought for 1 second, oh my God, they've got Dave Perry.
Could you imagine? Good, I forgot he was doing that.
No, not all. Where have you been for the last 24 years since GamesMaster? Enlighten us what you've been up to, sir, please.
That's a very good question. Where have I been geographically? I've been in the Lake District, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Toronto, Ontario, back to Halifax, Nova Scotia, back to Toronto, Ontario, and then to Calgary, Alberta, which is where I live now. So yeah, I've been all over the place. But that's what happens when you owe people money. You know, you have to keep moving.
Your council tax is rife. The council tax is rife.
Exactly.
So you've been busy then, to say the least. I mean, you ain't been sitting on your ass, so that's a good thing, I guess. I mean, you know, but no, we've got lots of people. We've got lots of questions. Lots of people in the chat. If anyone wants to get a question to Dominik, please put it in capitals. I will try. We will try our best to get to them. We've got lots of questions already to put towards Dominik for tonight. Did you say good question?
Good question, gamer.
Lovely. Well done for that, Dom. You set me right up there, fella. Just to let you know, Dominik, that's one of our friends of the channel, a great guy called Ali 16 Bits and Bobs.
Yes.
He loves his GamesMaster. He's in the comments. He's probably wet himself by now, bless him. No, I'm being serious.
But see, now I feel really bad, right?
Why?
Because Ali emailed me and said, would you take part in one of the season 2 skits of my GamesMaster skits?
And you said no.
I said no.
I'll tell you what, if I did have the guts, I'd chuck you off this stream.
No, I said to him, listen, I don't know if I want to do GamesMaster skits or kind of mistakes. So now I feel really bad. You know?
He's a good guy. He's a real good guy, and he did that off his back. He does lots of bits about GamesMaster and other stuff. He's a good guy.
Stop spacing credits for moving. So
can you just write in the memoirs, thanks to Side Ginger Hippie Gaming?
Sorry, you get me talking about these older things, and it just.
Do you know? The weirdest thing about looking at Sai is that one of my best friends of my whole life, Mikey Wilson. He was a producer of mine when I was at Real Radio and Top 107 in Scotland. One of my best friends ever. He is the spitting image of Sai. He doesn't have a beard. He's not manly enough to have a beard.
You say that we're Sai is our local warlock of Birmingham / Dudley / Wolverhampton. So he could be 108 years old. He could be your friend just reincarnated. Who knows? Bless. He had a comb as well. We combed his hair today.
No, I actually straightened this.
That's good. It's worth it.
Fair play to you. You look good, Si. I would. Fair play, Lee. I mean,
Ben Elton.
The next question's about toilets from Lee, but the first one was a good one. The first one was spot on. Sorry, Lee, I love you. My question is more for you, Dominik, in the terms of you've got a book coming out, the GamesMaster Oral History, which is coming out on the 6th of October.
Right.
I just wanted you to briefly, because I know. Just so the guys and the girls, because I'm sure there's girls, obviously, because I'm the second best looking person on YouTube behind Sai. So my question is, can you tell us a little bit about it, how you kind of come to this? Because obviously it's been so long since we've seen you involved with anything with the GamesMaster franchise, if you will. Not a lot, just a little brief one, because I know you said before you can't talk loads, but just a little overview so the guys and girls can know, and I'll show a picture of the front cover if it is the front cover in a second once you start going, Jeff.
Well, I mean, it really is. It's as it says. It's the oral history. And so it's basically every single, well, not every single person, but about, I don't know, 100, 200 people who were involved in the show in whatever way, from the boss, producers, directors, designers, contestants, celebrities, everything. It's them just basically talking about their experience with the GamesMaster show. And then, so Jack Templeton, who's a very talented guy, he's the editor. He interviewed them all and transcribed them all. And then he basically said, right, Dominik, I want you to do two things. I want you to kind of thread all these together chronologically. And at the same time, I want you to tell the story of what it was like to be so young and to be propelled from being a complete unknown to the face of not just one of the biggest new TV shows of its era, but of the biggest industry. And kind of what that was like, both the good and the bad. And that was what was great about Jack, was he really pushed me to kind of talk about how much, I mean, it really messed me up. I wasn't a big fan of the whole fame thing. I don't like being recognized. I thought it would be a right laugh. I mean, when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, let's grow up and be famous. It'll be fantastic. But then I remember when we did, we did series 1 and I knew it was a big deal because it was in all the papers and I was doing tons of interviews and everything. But it was when we did GamesMaster Live at the Birmingham NEC, and I was only still like 23 at that time, and looking out on this kind of vast kind of cavern of thousands and thousands of people. And even that wasn't. I mean, that was okay because I was a stand-up comedian before the GamesMaster, so I kind of always hoped that one day I'd play to that kind of crowd. But it was the walking through the crowd afterwards and people talking to you. There's nothing against them; they're just being really nice and supportive and their fans and everything. But I didn't. That freaked me out, so I was very uncomfortable with that. So a lot of the book is kind of how I dealt with that. I rather didn't deal with it and partied pretty hard and kind of got involved with stuff, with drink and drugs and everything that I really shouldn't have, and fights and we just went kind of a bit mad, really. But it's a cracking read. It was fucking horrible to go through, but it's brilliant to read about. So that's the book. It's kind of all the questions that you ever wanted to know about GamesMaster answered, all the great stories behind the scenes, plus what it was like, to be me during that kind of mental ride.
Is this the front cover? Because that's what's
that's the front cover. Yep, Dominik Diamond, Jack Templeton. Yep, that's it.
Right, cool. So that's the front cover. And what I've done is, I don't know, you'd have thought by now what I'm fucking doing. Anyway, I'll put the link in again to the to the comments, so the guys can click the link straight to Amazon, purchase it, and when it comes out in October. So it's all in there, guys. I'm looking forward to it. I've already ordered it.
To be honest, I think a lot of us have.
I mean, listen, there's going to be a lot of people who's going to want to get their hands on that, especially people in the comments, and there's loads of other people anyway. And then a wild Larry came in. Larry Bundy, how are you, sir?
Larry.
Oh, Larry. Probably ain't him
Larry.
anyway. Probably someone else. There's so many dodgy accounts now. I know it is him. I doubt anyone's pathetic enough to want to impersonate me instead of my
That sounds like Larry.
Used to speak to Dom a fair bit on the old games animal forums. That's from Mr. Bundy.
I mean, really, do not do drugs,
Well, you say that, and I've got a message here. This is a famous saying: "Cocaine is a hell of a drug," which is the old was it Frank Murphy from Dave Chappelle, which is another hilarious skit.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, it is
with Rick James,
Eddie Murphy's brother.
James,
Yeah,
bitch. Fucking love that. There we go.
Hello, Sega Zombie!
He genuinely has that much energy in real life.
Why didn't they get him to do the GamesMaster character in the reboot? Why didn't they get Ali to do it? He'd been brilliant. Yeah. Everybody always wanted Brian Blessed, and he just does as good a job.
Listen, old Ali, he's a legend. Unfortunately, there's a man with a big net running around looking for him, trying to catch the fucker because he's a lunatic.
And he's a great guy. Trying to nick stuff from Lee's work.
I've got a question here, but I don't want to ask it yet because I don't know if Sai's going to ask it later on about.
No, just ask away.
All right, cool. So while we're here, let's ask this question because a few people. is that with us five, I just with us five here, we're all. I've just got into 8-bit thanks to Sai, but the other 4 guys have been into 8-bit for ages. Now, surely, as Paul would back me up here, the far superior system is the Commodore. Is it not, Paul?
Yes. It depends what you grew up with.
What do you think, Dominic? Please, just and try and keep it short and sweet because Commodore is a very quick word to say.
I nearly spat my drink out him.
Sorry, bro.
Before the Amiga, it didn't even factor into my kind of.
Oh yeah, you got a double win there, Scott.
Guys, thanks for watching. I've been Retro Share. Fuck this. I think this is quite fitting for now.
You've fallen asleep.
I think Dominic must have fallen asleep there and talked a bit of fluff because I'm sure he said Commodore. On yours. Where is this one? Right, here we go.
Hello, nerdy geezer.
You need to do something with Ali, please, Dominic. Please. If you do anything in life, please just do something.
At some point in the future, let's make a vague, non-committal commitment.
Ali, you're watching. Ali. I've sold you out, bruv.
His sterling performance.
I'll have a chicken shish and a bag of chips, mate, because he's Turkish Cypriot. Anyway, just got lots of people just sending their love and stuff like that, which is nice.
Thank you.
Lots of questions, but we still got plenty of time because I ain't letting Dominic go until we get all the questions in, so he's not going anywhere. Anyway, no.
Well, can I just say that I know you're going to plug it later, but can I just say now if there are people that are showing lots of love, if you can go onto my Twitter at Dominic Diamond, and there's details. We'll talk about it later, but there's a podcast / column thing that I do every week, so you can sign up for that. So that's
my next question.
Okay.
Okay. So my question is rewind. Just pretend we didn't do that. So obviously, this is the lovely picture that you have on your page and whatnot. So this is something else you do. This is the first, when me and you were first talking, which was a couple of weeks ago now, which was fantastic, and I still thought it was an imposter. And
you did.
When I had you guys, when I had you on the stream, I was like, "He's in the fucking bottom. He's in the bottom of the stream," and you were there.
That's why he started talking about your pants. He was nervous.
I got nervous.
It's the same guy that's pretending to be Larry Bundy. Is it the same guy? There's just one guy that's pretending to be all these gaming names of repute.
Look, there is some of them on YouTube.
There was one.
Really?
Last year.
Believe it.
There was a troll.
Was on.
There's all sorts. But yeah, so like I said, this is your little old purple column. Now, when we were talking, you were saying about what you're doing, and obviously you sent me the link. I went on it, and I was like, "This is you." But tell us a little bit about it, because obviously you can subscribe to, which is awesome. There's little free bits you can listen to. It's a real good listen, guys. Definitely get into it. But Dom, please share where it come from and why you're doing it. Like what kind of gives you your inspiration behind doing it?
I had 2 reasons really. Was so I wrote a piece on Spec for the Guardian about 6 months ago now about frustrations that I was having with FIFA, playing FIFA online, because of the horrific, violently toxic nature of that online community, and just the horrible way that EA cynically gets you to stump up microtransactions for coins. And I'd done it for years and years and years. And basically because I didn't have a lot of time to play games, because I was trying to claw my way up the fucking radio ladder in Canada, which is hard when you're a foreigner. And but I still played FIFA, guaranteed 2 hours a night FIFA, because I just got really into playing Ultimate Team online. And as a result, I missed out on a lot of games. So I made the decision. I'm like, right, that's it. I've had enough of it. I hate it more and more every year. And all my kids kept saying to me, "Dad, try this game, Zelda Breath of the Wild." No, it's not FIFA. And so basically, I wrote this piece about for the Guardian, saying how after 30 years or something, because I was one of the first people to ever play FIFA. I went down to Electronic Arts office in Slough in 1993 or whenever it was.
Wow!
And played it every single year. And so this was a kind of big deal for me. And then the editor had said, well, if your plan now is to go back and try out these games, the last 10, 20 years that your kids have loved that you haven't been into because of FIFA, but why don't you write about that, about you discovering these games? And I'm like, brilliant. So it's, you know, it was kind of from the niche of kind of dad gamer kind of. And then, so I started playing a lot of games again, and I started loving them again. And at the same time, they decided to reboot my TV show. And obviously, I woke up every morning, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages from people pissed off that I wasn't involved in it. So I felt like there was people who wanted a kind of a Dominik Diamond gaming thing out there who had, like me, had been absolutely devoted to games in the 90s. But then, you know, real life kind of gets in the way, and jobs and careers and kids, and you don't have time to play quite as much. And then all of a sudden, when you try to get back into games and you're like, oh, here's a new Call of Duty, I'll try and play that online. What the fuck is happening? Everybody's staring at me and saying, everybody's saying they want to rape my sister, and everybody's like dabbing me after they kill me automatically. And can't we just go back to Mega Man? And so I kind of had so much that I wanted to talk about things like that. And the Guardian column is, you know, it's one column a month. There's not a lot of real estate in newspapers to talk about games. So I thought, right, I'll do it myself. And then I found out about this thing called Substack, which a lot of writers that I like have gone on to, because it allows you to deal directly with punters. You don't have to go through an editor or a publication. And it also allowed you to record an audio version of this as well. And I thought, well, based on what people were saying about the reboot, then, you know, people miss kind of hearing me talk about games. So that was it. So I thought I'll do that. And I sat down for a couple of weeks and I thought, right, let's just wait and just let's try writing some stuff and recording some stuff and see if it's got legs. And I wrote about 20,000 words in a couple of weeks of stuff that I really cared about. And it was everything from, you know, me trying things like Subnautica that my kids love and my problems with it, to remembering classic arcade games and writing poems about Space Invaders and Pac-Man and all that stuff. So it's quite open and it's quite kind of free, and it can kind of be anything. And there's a free version which is like 750, well, it's probably more 1,000 really, and that's like about an 8-9 minute free version every week. And then there's a version for paid subscribers which is like 30 minutes long, kind of like 3,500-4,000 words, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's because it's like, you know, I've spent most of my career after GamesMaster being told what I can't say. Right. GamesMaster was great because I was in charge and I could do what I liked, but unfortunately the rest of the media is not like that. So I spent a lot of years in Canada doing radio, which I've loved and it's been great, but it's all about, no, you can't say this and you can't say that. But what's great with this is I'm completely independent, I'm completely unbridled, I'm completely unfettered. I'm not, you know, I'm not in the enthrall of any games publisher. No one's sending me review copies or anything like that. I'm paying my own way. So some things I really love, some things I really hate. And it means that when I get something like just now I'm playing, and I know I'm very late to this party, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
It's blowing my mind. And it's taken me back to like how I felt playing Final Fantasy VII. You know, in the 90s, just that all-enveloping game where you wake up in the morning and you just want to play it, and you play it last thing at night, and you even forget to have a beer because you're enjoying playing it so much. You're like, it's 10 o'clock. What feels weird? I'm sober. How did that happen? Because I'm just loving this game. So it's great. I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
So, Bernardino, Rob, another good friend, another brother from another mother, has put a link in the bottom to the Twitter for me. So, guys, jump on that. Go and have a look. Subscribe to it. Just enjoy it. It's just something. And I'll be honest with you, Domin, I'm not just saying this because you're here. I do love you. But other than that, what I'm going to say is it's good to have you back, if you get me. Because you were on our TVs for a long time. I watched over and over GamesMaster, recorded them, played them back probably like most of us did. I watched it when it was on Bravo or whenever the reruns was, or however it was. I can't remember now. So it's just good, it's good to hear you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Not in a homosexual way, just in a good way.
That's okay. That's fine.
I just want to that comment from another good friend from all of us. Amazing where this YouTube probably takes you. Look at you 5 tonight. I thought he was going to say something like we're all a bunch of cunts, but instead he's put talking with someone from our childhood. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Pete on the retro tip, you are a legend, my friend. You are a fucking legend.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
Well, let's not
It's helped
milk
all
it.
of us out though. Pete
Yeah,
has.
no,
I
let's
mean,
not
how
milk
many
it.
how many of our intros were made by Pete, and he's
Yeah.
helped everyone along the way. He really does.
Yeah, he's done mine, but the filthy animal, I've got 6 board games in my fucking living room. They've been here for about 4 months now. Send me to Brentwood to go and get them. I still fucking got them. I do love him. But anyway, Nintendo Arcade, just don't invite Pete to barbecue or he'll bring raw squid. Well,
What's wrong with raw squid?
yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with it, but you know. Right, Paul.
But surely if you were bringing the raw squid to a barbecue, the point was that you were going to cook it. I mean, nobody goes, oh, you brought raw beef burgers to a barbecue. That's the whole fucking point. You don't bring the stuff cooked.
Who
That's
do you
the
think
whole
cooked it? The
barbecue
chef
point of
above
it.
you.
Well, normally I cook at people's barbecues,
Yeah.
Mr. Zombie. Love you.
Yeah, you cooked at mine, didn't you?
I cook for your birthday party. I
Turn
come
up as a
to
guest and you
drink
end up
a few
cooking.
beers and I end up fucking cooking. But it's all good.
What's your speciality then?
Oh, you have to ask that stupid wanky question that
No,
every
lads-
fucker asks me. No, so I'm.
To be honestly, we're asking Dominic the same questions everybody
No,
else.
no,
asks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, thank
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking hell, Si, I'll
How
fucking
from what
you
pinpoint did you want to be?
you and Dominic out if you carry on. You know, so I'm classically French trained, so I'm a Michelin star chef. That's my level. So my inspiration is mainly Mediterranean. I love Arabic, Turkish cuisines. I love that the idea that they use spices and herbs and different fruits to flavor their rices, their couscouses, and their meats.
Yeah.
I'm really good at that. My wife's Turkish Cypriot. Big up
Yeah.
the Turkish Cypriots.
Right,
Ali is out there.
See, that's it, isn't it? Because see, couscous. I've got like I've got one vegan daughter, one vegetarian daughter. So I've had to really transition. I'm not allowed to cook meat in the house, so I've had to transition to a lot of vegetarian stuff. And couscous. See if you'd said that to Dominic Diamond in the 90s, you're going to have couscous for lunch. I would have said that. I fucking love it, and you're right. And it's the sultanas and the raisins and the fruits and all that stuff. It's brilliant. It's vegetarian cuisine from the Middle East is absolutely gorgeous.
It's they cook with passion. That's every one of my Mediterranean chefs. I've got Moroccan chefs. I mean, I know they're Arabic, but Mediterranean Italians, Moroccans, Tunisians. They all cook with passion, and they all know about spices. And that's what's for me. Being a 40-year-old chef and working with people from around the world and working in high-level restaurants and establishments, I've learned so much from those people. Being an English boy from North London, having kebab and chips with burger sauce. That's my forte. But I haven't got a specific dish. But I think generally I'm a great pastry chef. I was taught pastry first because most chefs can't do pastries. It's because it's science doing pastry.
Yes.
So I was pastry taught. So my old man was a butcher. So most restaurants, hotels, the starters and desserts are on the same section. So I just did that and then went up. But best dish, I couldn't tell you, Dom. I'm happy to fly to Canada and to cook.
I would love to be a butcher. I know this sounds strange, having good
job.
A vegetarian household, but I think it's an incredible job. I think that I'm a big believer. I know we're getting really way off the point. Sorry for the people who are tuning in wanting to hear about games.
Food's always welcome.
I think there's no greater respect for an animal than nose to tail eating. So people who can take that and get all kinds of cuts, I think it's an incredible science. And that way that you take the kind of the fattier cuts of meat and you cook them slower and differently. That level of science, I think butcher is an incredible skill. It's like it's art, absolute art.
Yeah, it's a dying art because obviously in the industry you can buy your cannons of lamb, your noisettes of lamb, your ribeye. You can buy that. Whereas with me, I like to show the young commies, the commie chefs, the new guys, get a chateau of beef in. So the half-ass of the cow, we cut off the ribs for the Jacob's ladders. We cut off the sirloin, the fillet. I mean, I can wax lyrical all day, Dom. Don't mug me off.
I love all this stuff. I do. I love all this stuff.
But yeah, no. So I can cook pretty much anything. Questions, top topics here. This is professional shit.
Yes.
See,
I'm getting wet, and it's not the type of wet I was expecting. To be honest with you, from this
Salivating, right?
I'm salivating, but not. Anyway, that's another stream. Right.
Can I just add, while we're talking about food here, every time one of us mentions in our WhatsApp group, which Chef is part of, Every time we mention about cooking something, we get the full lowdown from Lee on how to do it, don't we?
That's good.
Ingredients and
But
everything.
nobody dares tell him that it's in the microwave.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't say you're going to put brown sauce on it.
that's how we do it. Sorry, Paul.
I was expecting to see that sandwich picture, the bacon sandwich.
I can now
Go on,
listen.
do it.
Hang on, I've got this one.
Oh, that's a long time
I
ago.
think that's a sausage sandwich.
Yeah, I was
Not
going to
bacon.
say sausage
Yeah.
sandwich.
Paul was this was covert operations over in Baghdad. There's this one. That's the
There it is. There it is.
That's nice. That's good. Look at that. That's good.
And then we've got my mate Ainsley.
Oh,
Get on your boys.
Ainsley Harriet was responsible for a great chocolate fondant recipe that I live by. Actually, his cookbook, one of the first cookbooks I ever had. I got his and Anthony Worrell Thompson's. And yeah, the Ainsley one, it was a really good, super simple chocolate fondant pot.
I don't know if I should say this, but I worked with Ainsley Harriet when he was a no one at Arsenal football stadium in Highbury when I was working there. And he also worked at Lord's cricket ground. And he did actually do the Percy Pepper and Susie Salt in the kitchen. He did that. And yeah, and everyone thought he was a bender, which is not a problem. Like I'm not fussed, maths and math. Regardless, he was married. His wife used to pick him up after we finished service. His wife used to drive up the front and pick him up, and everyone was like, "I swear he was a bender." But anyway, yeah, but lovely guy, and he was hilarious. At Lord's, he used to do all his jerk chicken, all of his Caribbean stuff. Like he was bang on that. A really nice guy, and he's this.
Another Ainsley Harriet fact. Do you know he was a Gelf in Red Dwarf?
Say again.
No
Ainsley
way.
Harriet was a Gelf in Red Dwarf.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all connected. All this bollocks, it's all fun.
It was the episode with the emo Hulk, wasn't it? He was one of them in that. Yeah.
Sega Zombie. Sorry, mate. We got.
My question.
Listen, Ty hasn't stopped talking. I'm sorry, mate. I'll mute him in a minute. He's fucking. I mean,
You think we gave the guests a backstage riders?
he's got a deck chair.
There's
And a table. You need to remember back in them days, the 80s, 90s, we had Keith Floyd, who was pissed all the time, which was
Right,
great.
yeah.
to see.
My
Which was
hero.
great to see. Yeah, and you had Ken Hom. Ken Hom used to be on the old telly. And then you had, I forgot his name, the other geezer. Oh, shit. One on food and drink. Anyway, you didn't have many. So when he come along, he was a breath of fresh air. And he was, he's actually quite good. Andy Worrell Thompson was the first one to be one of the first TV chefs on a boat and all this kind. He did some weird stuff. And then obviously he got done for nicking stuff out of Tesco's, was it? Or whatever he did. But yeah,
he used to have a great place where I lived actually when we were doing GamesMaster. He had a place right the corner from where I lived in Ladbroke Grove in London. And what it was good, it was the first time I ever went to a restaurant where it was a no choice. He prepared a 3-course meal, and if you had dietary things, he would substitute stuff in. And I loved that. And I ended up eating stuff I normally wouldn't eat. And what he did was that he went around all the tables at the end of service, just chatting. And I love that touch. Gordon Ramsay did that when I went to the Boxwood, when he opened up the Boxwood, and he went around all the tables and everything. I think that's great. I love football. You can tell I love talking to chefs. It's fascinating.
That's anytime, Dom. You've got my email address, mate.
Hello, chef.
I am the chef. My question is from the Hobby Lodge. I like this question because I like a bit of Crime Watch. So this is kind of interluding. When you left GamesMaster, was there anything you managed to get your fingers on? And did you get a golden joystick? It's like, is there anything you thought, oh, you know what, I'll have that for the old kitchen, or I'll have that for this? Or was there anything you really wanted you didn't get, or vice versa, something you did get off a set, for example?
Do you know what? The boring answer is no. I wish I had. I've got 2 golden joysticks now, which were both basically made for me. There's a guy called Richard Long something. I can't. Sounds a bit naughty, but anyway, he basically makes. He made one for me, an absolute replica, and he sent it all the way to Canada from the UK. So I have that, and then my mate Neil here in Calgary, who I met when I started doing a radio show out here, and I got this weird Twitter message saying, I'm Scottish as well. We should go for a beer. And I'm like, oh, that happens everywhere you go in Canada. It's obviously some psycho stalker. And he was, but he's become one of my best mates, so that's okay. And his wife, Sarah, is incredibly arty. And she made a GamesMaster Golden Joystick for me for one birthday. And it actually has on it, ironically, it says GamesMaster Series 8. And so she was like, that's the series that we're never going to see. And then unfortunately,
You never know.
rebooted it. Well, no, they did, unfortunately, didn't they? And
no, we don't want to talk about that.
No, we're not. Well,
that was 3 episodes. That wasn't a series.
It's not canon. It's not canon, as they say. It's not canon.
Yeah, it's not canon. That's it.
Not
I have to ask though,
but I
what
did
Joyce...
apparently, and I know because I went on. Rick Henderson has a podcast. Well, I mean, he calls it a podcast. I think he's done 2 episodes, and he's hopeless at getting stuff out. So I chatted with him, and he asked me why I stole if I still had Stephen Hendry's snooker cue. And I'm like, what? And when I say about things I don't remember, apparently he said when Stephen Hendry was on GamesMaster, I nicked his snooker cue, and he was not happy. And I don't remember that. And I know I say that about the partying, but I know at times it maybe didn't look like it, but when we actually filmed the show, I was completely sober, cold sober, straight edge, and everything like that. So it's not. I'm amazed that I don't remember that. I don't think it's the kind of thing I would do. I went through a stage. I used to steal a lot of salt and pepper pots from restaurants. Chef. I'm sure that would really. Yeah, that's I always did those classic things. But I steal the odd picture from a pub. But I don't think I would. I don't think I'd have the balls to steal a world snooker champion snooker cue because they're quite important to them. These things.
Yeah, they take them everywhere, don't they?
What's that hanging up behind you then?
What?
Is that a snooker cue?
What game was Stephen Hendry there to play?
He played a golf game. It was actually Rick.
Why did he have his snooker cue?
They take them everywhere.
I think it was. Yeah, they do. I think they do. They don't like to leave between tournaments or something like that.
Just wet your whistle, Dom, because you're standing a bit croaky, mate. I don't know if you need to get a whiskey out or something, bruv.
Oh, have we just lost him?
He did say he was in a storm. Bless him.
Yeah.
Oh dear, yeah, he's got a storm in Canada, isn't he?
Got a storm. Well, that's one way to leave the stream.
And
freeze frame.
He's either really good at charades or he's the world champion.
Larry Bundy did this last time.
Yeah, we give him a couple of minutes just to.
Will he have to go in and out again? Come out of the stream.
I'm assuming so. Do you think
That's
he's
almost
just going
like a good innuendo? That's almost GamesMaster level.
There you go.
Well, this would be an excuse to get him on for part 2 if he fucks off.
Well,
I can't believe Dom fucked off because the fact that he's back. No, sorry. No,
He's back.
Do you know what happened there?
You thought at least said half an to 9:30, and then you're going to do one.
I'm out.
Did you see my lights flickering before everything went off?
Lightning strike.
I think the house got. So I mean, because again, this is when I say thunder and lightning. This isn't your little pissy little British weather like, oh, there's a leaf on the track. We got run the train. Literally, there's electrical sheet lighting in my street, and I think the house got hit by a bolt, and everything just went off. Powered everything back up. I got an email from you, Lee, saying, "Is everything okay?" And part of me wanted to get one of my kids to reply, "No, he died."
I said, can I have his 2 golden joysticks to filthy animal? No, thank you for coming back. That's good of you. Because there's a few people saying, he's a fuck. I was like, no, hang on a minute. This is Dominik Diamond. Don't be like that. He's a good guy. Don't be fucking I don't know.
Act of God.
It's still really bad lightning there.
Fuck it. It's absolutely horrific.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm in the basement. I don't think a direct hit will kill me.
He's got his kids. He's got his kids with a bit of sheet metal rattling it like fucking Rolf Harris. One of the guys said you had your channel, your channel, and you had Bad Influence. Did you have any kind of I don't want to say rivalry because it never seemed like that. But did you have any kind of conversation with Andy or with Violet, or was there anything you ever crossed over with, or was it just completely you never watched it, never like anything with them?
Violet Berlin is one of the loveliest people on
thank
the planet.
God.
So much.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
No, so much of this GamesMaster book is me apologizing to Violet for horrible, mean things I said about Bad Influence, because she contributed to the book. And I was an absolute arsehole, not to her personally, no, because I was pretty two-faced. Whenever I saw her, hey, Violet, how you doing, and everything, blah, blah, blah. And then someone asked me in an interview, what about Bad Influence? Oh, it's worse than Hitler. I mean, so I feel really bad. It was just part of this monster that I kind of became in the 90s. I did see it as a rivalry, and I was quite offensive about that show. So it was really bad. They didn't deserve it. I don't think I ever met Andy, but I certainly met Violet a lot of times, and she loves her games, loves her tech, an absolute fantastic human being. Yeah,
that's what we were saying is that it's two completely different shows, because what we said was, with you, there was passion. You could see with everyone, it was more, everyone was enjoying what they're doing. With them, because Andy, I've spoken to Andy, and he said, I'm not a gamer. He's quite, from the beginning, said to me, I'm not a gamer, Lee. I'm not really interested. But Violet Berlin I spoke to her. She was lovely. She still got her toes in bits and pieces. Yeah. But there was no passion, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't mean in a horrible way. It was just two completely different programs. You know what I mean? Which I think was good, because it wasn't like they were copying or vice versa. No, but it was just different. It was just different for its time.
Yeah, it was a good show. What is Chef drinking there?
That is.
Is that good old-fashioned Kiora diluting orange?
No. My wife. I love my wife. She Cypriot mandarins, squash with sugar. So it's basically orange squash, but fresh. It's the bollocks.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Keeps me refreshed while I was chewing the fuck out of my nails because you fucked off and left us. Dom, can you read that bottom message, please? Because that's Sega Zombie's message. Do you mind giving her a little shout out?
Yeah, I just want Dominic to give me a shout out. I was such a big fan of GamesMaster. All right, JD. Shout out.
Done.
That's it. We've sorted Scott out now. He's got to do nothing this weekend. Legs up.
Yeah, brownie points. Brilliant.
That's it, bro. Before we all say proper goodbyes, my last question, Dominic, to you is, hand on heart, sir, is there any regrets? I'm not saying with GamesMaster. I'm just saying, just in general, is there something you think, oh, you know what, maybe if I did this, or with that, I don't know. I don't know if that's a bit of a deep question. Is there anything you think, oh, I wish I did that, or you just like all of us, because we see it and we think we're really happy with how everything was done, or was there something you thought,
yeah,
you know what,
I once had a Mohican that I let grow a little bit, and I had a little beard that kind of matched it, and for some reason, and a little moustache. For some reason, I chose that look when I was asked to host What the Papers Say, the prestigious newspaper review program on the BBC. And unfortunately, it's one of those pictures that always fucking comes up whenever you Google my name.
I've seen it on Google. It is
the most insane, ridiculous, embarrassing look.
I wish I'd known that before the stream.
I did fit up. I don't know what I was thinking of. I've done a lot of weird things with hair and facial hair and hair dye that I really regret. That's the biggest. I mean, this is what McKenny says to anyone. I left Radio 96.5 and Halifax, Nova Scotia morning show to go and do 102.1 on the Edge in Toronto. It was the biggest mistake of my life, but it was the biggest indie music station in all of Canada, and it was the realization of a dream. But I ended up working with two people who
have you been to Oak Island? Because I watch it all the time.
Do you know what? No, I haven't. But it's funny because I used to live just in that's where I lived in Nova Scotia, was the South Shore. I lived in a place called Mahone Bay, right? And it's just from Lunenburg, and I could see Oak Island from where I lived. So yeah.
Dominic, thank you so much. You are exactly how I expected you to be, just a little bit more hairier. You are fantastic, mate. No, listen, seriously, it's been absolutely fantastic. We're all buzzing. We're all buzzing to do this. It's been awesome. Dom, do you want to say anything? Because obviously you're with me, the chef, and the guys. Anything, just just anything come off the tongue. Anything?
Oh, we're back to someone's wife. No, they
love it.
Well, I'm pleased the show meant a lot to you guys. I'm pleased the show meant a lot to people who have gone on and kind of kept that passion alive, and long may it continue. And thank you very much. And if people want to at Dominik Diamond at Twitter, if they want to subscribe to the podcast, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'll keep it going for as long as is possible. So that's cool.
Perfect. Right, this is the last one. Try not to cry, Dom, because this probably will put you there.
So that's it. I would like to personally thank the many talented people that have worked on this show. They will all go on to bigger things, but somehow none of them will seem quite as self-indulgent as GamesMaster. I know some people might have thought it's been flippant. To some people it might seem as if it's been in bad taste, but it was made with the total conviction that to you, the viewers, it meant something. So I guess really now with the last link of the last series, I should come up with the funniest gag in the history of GamesMaster, but I can't.